Hello and welcome to a new guide on Jeanne D'arc. Today we're going to talk about how to do a proper feudal aggression build order with her. This is going to be your simple standard build order that you're going to use to do your standard aggression or following up with a second TC perhaps. It could be whatever. This is a good standard build order that you can use in pretty much any game with Jeanne D'arc, of course. Jeanne D'arc is really fun to play. She's very powerful, especially when you get it to level 3. So the goal of this build order is to apply pressure to your opponent relatively early, then not getting the fastest level up with her, but fast enough for you to go out, hunt boars, wolves, and so on. And then after that, you get some quick archers, some quick knights, and then you can do some damage to the opponent. That's the goal of this build order. I will be providing the link in the description, of course, and yeah, let's get into it. When you start off, you're going to be sending 5 villagers to the food. And then we have our 6th villager, which is Jeanne. You want her to build the buildings. So you're going to be building a house and a mining camp. This is very, very important because she gains experience from this. And more so than if she were to gather from the sheep. You build the houses and you build the mining camp. You keep rallying onto food with your town center until you're at 8 on food. So we do 8. And then we do another 2 to gold. So we have 8, 3. And then back to food until you can age up. So now, rally. And then afterwards, shift it over to gold. Speed it up a little bit. Of course, scout goes around here. You don't want to be going out for longer than 2 minutes. So when you see like 1:30, that's probably a good time to get back and drop sheep off. So here, around 1:30, I drop off some sheep to prevent idle time. Sometimes sheep can be killed close to the TC. And the sheep will not be able to be gathered by 8 villagers, but maybe by 4. So you want to watch out for those things. Drop off the sheep. Rally the last villager over to gold. And now we're rallying back to food. So this will give us a pretty good timing. Standard 2:15, 2:13. So when you see at about 2:08 to 2:10, you can do your drop-offs. So now I'm going to do all my drop-offs. I send Jeanne and 1 villager to go ahead and build the School of Cavalry. So what we're doing here is we're building it a little bit faster. We're still getting a lot of experience from Jeanne D'arc. You can actually go ahead, if you don't want to do a follow-up production building, go ahead and build the School of Cavalry only with her. She will then, of course, get the School of Cavalry up later, but she will also level up a little bit faster. I do think this method is better, which I'm about to show you. What we're doing now is we're doing a 7-2 split and then rest to wood until we have 5. If you are thinking the macro and all the numbers I'm putting out right now is a bit confusing, refer to the transcription of the build order in the description below. You'll find all of the macros there in a tab. School of Cavalry goes up, and then after that, Jeanne D'arc will go ahead and build an archer range, which is why we are rallying onto wood right now. So rally until you have 5 on wood, just keep the 5 there, and then only go for the straggler trees. Don't build a lumber camp just yet. Alright, so at about 3 minutes 20 to 3 minutes 40 is when you want to build a house as well, but not with Jeanne D'arc. This one is going to be built with a gold villager. You want to make sure you have 100 gold before you build that house, so that you can make a knight immediately upon clicking up. So once you see you have 3,800 gold here, you take 1 villager and then you can build a house. When the School of Cavalry is up, you should be able to build a knight without having idle TCs. You never want to idle your TC. You might see that I have 6 villagers on wood here. It's a little bit of a mistake. You just want to have 5. So after that, you just rally onto food again, get 3 on gold, and get the rest to food until you have 11. School of Cavalry will be up in just a second. This is also a good time to start scouting your opponent, looking for weak spots. Where's their gold? Their front wood lines? Are they out on the deers? As I said before, put 3 to gold. Jeanne D'arc is not leveled up yet, so she will be building the archer range by herself. Queue that knight, and then just keep the villagers here on the straggler trees. You can shift queue them from straggler tree to straggler tree, and they will automatically go ahead and get the wood afterwards, without going to the wood line, for example, automatically. When the archer range is up, which is about 440, you build an archer immediately. You put Jeanne D'arc over to sheep if she has not leveled up yet. As you can see, she's very close to do it. Level her up, and then afterwards, go find the boars. You want to scout at least 1 boar, and then try to find the wolves as well. Get that boar. Pick Path of the Warrior. Path of the Warrior makes her a melee unit. She's very strong as Path of the Warrior because of the Galvanize ability. It starts off as Holy Wrath, of course. Holy Wrath is a really strong ability that you can use to go ahead and do an AoE attack around her. So once you are fighting bigger armies, and she's level 3, which is the point of this entire build with Jeanne D'arc, you use that ability when surrounded by a lot of enemies, and then with her, you can then 3-shot masses of Shogunus, masses of Spearmen, and it's a really, really strong unit at that point. So that's your goal here. You want to grind as much experience in the early game. I don't think you can play Jeanne D'arc very defensively with a boomy playstyle without losing out, and then you might as well play another civilization. So use her on the board. She can take it on herself. She also has automatic healing, so she can just go to the next board right after. Get that 50 experience, and at the enemy, start to see if you can harass a little bit. Push the villagers off, idle, possibly take out some villages. The good thing about going with the early archer range is we don't have the problem of early spearmen from our opponent, because our archers can take them out immediately, which does provide us quite the benefit when we have to push them early on and look for those villager kills. We can push them off gold earlier. We can, generally speaking, take better fights early on. If you find that you can't produce knights all of the time, put some more to gold. You want to have 5 to 6 on gold, 6 for upgrades. And then if you ever have idle time, but you have enough to make horsemen, just make the horsemen instead. They're great for dealing with archers and other cavalry units. So do knights primarily, follow up with horsemen. Get Jeanne D'arc as well. In your base, you want to go for, of course, another house. And then when you can, you start going for more archers or spearmen if you see that your opponent's going for a lot of cavalry. If your opponent's going for a lot of cavalry, follow up with a barracks, and then do a 1-1-1 composition. So that's pretty much it. There's not a lot more to this build order. I don't really want to extend it a lot more, because this is a simple standard build order where you can take it wherever you want to afterwards. The general idea is play aggressive, grind experience with her. Then you also want to build up a nice large army. So what I'll do is I'll speed it up here a bit so you can see how quick this army will build up. For Jeanne D'arc, you are always going to be playing aggressive. And this means we are going to just keep on adding production. Add a blacksmith at some point as well. Try to build up good amount of knights and archers. Play it standard French style, but remember you have Jeanne D'arc, so even if your army is a little smaller, she will be the stronger part of that army. She is the catalyst. Around 10 minutes here. We have 7 knights, 2 horsemen, 13 archers, and Jeanne. Jeanne is almost level 3. So once she's level 3, and you're up against somebody who has a lot of army, that's when you can take a fight. So just go ahead and deal with your opponent that way. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.